welcome back to another battle report brought to you by Collateral Damage. Today we have Seth playing Khymera. I'm playing all the new Shard Nocturne stuff. As you can see, Cephalyx there in the picture, and today I've got Mike with me.
Yeah, playing the new Cephalyx stuff. Here we go. I'm excited.
Let's do this.
Alright, so I'm running all of the new Cephalyx stuff because I think it's amazing and it's a lot of fun to play. So I'm going to be honest with you, I pronounce these names absolutely horrible. So my caster is Kathos, I think I say that right. And he has in his battle group 2 Malefactors, both sword and board. We have one Raptor that has the standard arcane loadout, the cheapest we can possibly make him, so he can send cool spells across the table. And we have the Maleficer, the new Cephalyx monstrosity. We then have the 2 solos that come with them, the Spell Slave. We have a Scarlock Lieutenant, 2 units of Centurions, 1 Mechanothrall Swarm to help keep myself alive, 2 Necrosurgeons, and 2 Sludge Thralls, because you can't leave home without them. My cards include Breakthrough, Defenses, Lucky Penny, Old Faithful, and Sapper, which was so useful during this game.
Alright, today I'm running Cephalyx, Fate's Eclipse, and I have Execration and Silence of Death racked on him. Then for my War Beast, I have Aklis and Skyla, and they are what you see is what you get. In addition to them, I have 2 Hydrix. This time I'm running the Flame Spitter heads, and then 2 Horned Piercers to take advantage of Cephalyx's feat. And on the dorsal feature, I've got the Blade back. For solos, I'm running Pythia and Regulus. And then for units, I've got 1 unit of Wind Strikers, the Shades, rounding out all the new Shard Nocturne models, 2 units of Lashers, and 1 unit of Formspine Shadowmancers.
Today we rolled up Scenario 2, Trench Warfare. This one's interesting because you cannot control your own scenario terrain piece.
Yeah, and on top of that, you get a little bit of a defensive buff. When within 3 inches of your own 40 or 50 mil objectives, your medium and small base warrior models get cover and resistance blasts.
So glad we brought so many blasts in this list.
Oh, I know. Completely unintentional. I did put the blast heads on the Hydrix, so I guess we'll see if you're actually able to take advantage of it, if I even remember to shoot them.
I believe in you. Alright, so Cryx won the roll-off, and I decided to go first. So we place the caster in the center, kind of like I always do, but with his 16-inch control area, he can pretty much be wherever he wants to, which is really nice. I split my forces in half, putting 1 unit of Sludge Thralls on one side and 1 on the other, same thing with the Centurions, and the 2 big bad jacks. I keep the monstrosity near my caster because he's got shield guard, and I want that buff from his abilities. And same thing with the Mechanothralls. I want them right up in there so they can help protect my caster.
Alright, we'll jump right into Khymera Deployment. I just want to point out we're playing on this very bright fluorescent lava map, which I think is the first time it's been on the channel, but it's about hurting my eyes looking at it right now.
Yes.
Alright, so pretty standard. I got the forest on my side of the table, and I love me some forest. So it's like, let's pile all the beasts and Warlock right behind it. At least try and get a little bit bonus defense. And then spreading out some units to flank. Unit of Lashers on both sides. I've got Regulus over on the bottom there. Just hoping to eventually jump up there and put some caltrops down and help basically zone out for the Lashers. And then spreading the Shades out there. This is the first time I'd played with the Shades. Forgetting there that they had advanced deployment, but spreading them out to get that 4-inch unit coherency. Just trying to take advantage of that the best I can.
Cryx turn 1. So, like all turn 1s, this is mostly a setup. I put 3 focus on the monstrosity so he can be ready to go for next turn, hopefully. I activate my caster. I put Death Ward on the monstrosity just to make him so much better. And put Scything Touch on the Jack on the far left because, well, you know, can't go wrong with a nice -2 armor. And I kind of just run everything up and get a position. Nice thing about having those walls is it gives me a little bit more protection. So hopefully I'll be able to stay alive. He won't just rush into me and try to kill me first turn. But I've been wrong before. For I mean a lot.
Yeah, I think the Malefactor with Scything Touch on it is pretty scary. I mean, I already don't want to get in combat with him, and you like freaking ran him straight up the field. So it's definitely putting the pressure on me to figure out where to be.
He's definitely a good deterrent. And I read my Asturians up there. I wasn't too sure about them. I was still trying to figure out how to play them well. I was hoping to keep them alive with the rapid healing. We'll see what happens with them. Kind of just position my solos.
That takes us into Khymera, turn 1. My response to Mike's movement. So I know I've got a lot of room here to play with it only being turn 1. Figure I better take as much advantage of everybody's movements as I can. So measuring out a lot of this just so turn 2 I know where my threat ranges are. So up there, if Mike decided to come up with the thralls onto the objective, I know I'd have charge range to him turn 2.
Did a really good job of staying out of my threat here. And dropping your models.
Yes, knocking everything over with massive resin beasts. I did at least take advantage of that forest, like I said in deployment. I wanted it. I wanted to at least be in it. Silly enough, and this happened on another game too, is you get so caught up in trying to use all your movement that then you forget that the model needs to completely be in the forest to get concealment. So wasn't able to actually take advantage of it because I moved him and then went on to other activations. And then went ahead and just moved everything past the forest anyway. So it was completely useless, but at least I didn't give Mike a forest for all of his sprays to stand behind, because that would not have been good either. Same thing on the other side, spreading everything out. Gonna move Regulus up and drop the caltrips. I was very excited to use caltrips. And then this ended up being the only turn I used them and never used them again. But trying to zone out, the more and more I use them, I'll remember to do it.
That's the problem with new models, is it takes forever to remember all of the rules for them.
Yeah, now just moving as many models up within 3 inches. And I'm going to spread those shades way out. I'm learning the love for the 4-inch coherency. That way I can at least, if I want to charge left, I can charge left. Charge right, I can go right.
So handy.
That pretty much sets up the turn. Getting everything in just so I can be within range and keeping stuff up there so that kind of deter you.
So that's into turn 1. I need to try to come up and maybe throw some pot shots at things and kill a few stuff, but he did a really good job of measuring, so I do not think I'm going to be able to get many this turn. Cryx turn 2. Well, Seth being the master of measuring he did not mess up too bad. He did leave his Hydrix out there a little bit so that I can maybe get some sprays off.
Well, and you were mean. You killed that one Lasher. I should have measured that better. Because losing 1 out of 3, I've learned is way worse than it should be. I mean, especially, it was the one dude that was way up there. Granted, I think you're still in charge range, but it's like, there goes the extra 3, 4, 5 inches that guy was giving me.
Right. I ended up doing pretty good on that. I think I did like 2 points of damage to the Hydrix.
Yeah, just enough to give me corrosion and be aggravating.
But that was the only things that were in range, luckily for you, and I just kind of ran everything up to position, hopefully to stay alive long enough to contest objectives so you wouldn't grab them and score. And basically to set myself up, give you some juicy targets up there to be like, come to me. Of course, upkept Silent Touch and Death Ward at the beginning of the turn.
Yeah, turn 2 basically became reposition. Turn 1.5.
Yeah, basically. You're nice enough to let me move my Malefactor there again. I didn't put in the full inches like I should have. Basically blocked myself. With Mechanothral's up there to kind of have a second layer of protection against you taking that cash. And then move my caster up to make sure I had some shield guard there. And then pop my feet. That gives me enemy units in my control area -3 to hit. And if you miss me, I get to reposition, or sorry, be placed within 3 inches of the current position. So it's a pretty fun, it's a pretty great defensive feat, and I'm hoping it keeps me alive.
Going into Khymera Turn 2. Here is my opportunity to answer Mike's feat, which is a good one, because it tends to be very, very frustrating. Making things extra hard to hit, and then when you miss them, which is going to happen a lot, they move away. So starting off here, just trying to clear some infantry out. Taking my Warlock up to the Cephalyx unit, hoping to get rid of one of them, and still at least keep a couple Fury on him for when he vanishes back, just in case. I mean, never want to be too ballsy and assume somebody can't get you. So making some attacks. I bought an additional attack because it took 2 to kill the first guy. Trying to get the guy right behind the terrain piece there. Failed to kill him. I'm evaluating the Fury situation here right now. I'm trying to decide what can I afford to do. Can I buy another attack? And I do. Then using my ranged attacks on some Mechanothralls. And vanishing back.
Howard.
Hopefully into a... Yeah, no. Just run away. Do pop my feet there. Since Mike's got everything moved up here, I think this is the best time to capitalize, because otherwise he's going to charge me next turn. So try and take advantage of all those crit armor pinheads on the Hydrix and the character Jack. In addition to that, I did cast Marathon and Execration. So trying to give me a little bit more movement shenanigans and a little bit of defense there in the center of the table. Did some shooting with that Hydrix in the forest. Missed, and so that's why you're seeing the Thralls take their feet movement all over the place. And then the Lashers charged in as well and did a little bit of damage, but not a whole lot happening over there. And then repositioning the 3 to try and get in better position. That the Hydrus in the forest did charge, goes in, completely whiffs. Again, this is on feet turn. You can see that I rolled trip ones on that attack. Like just 100%. He misses the Malefactor moves backwards. Misses the Thrall moves forwards. It's just like everything you want is here. Let me give you an extra 2-3 inches for you to get in better position for your next turn.
I'm having a wonderful time.
Yeah, I did manage to kill a Mechanothrall, but again, like the beauty of the Hydrix with that spine is you can at least, move an inch and try and attack more things. And when you keep missing and everything moves away from you. All right, so I missed so many attacks. There's nobody left in combat with me now. So now that Hydrix has decided to shoot at the Mechanothralls, kill a guy. Looking to see the blast targets. Make a tough roll there. And then since I killed a guy, we do a little bit of boogie in there. And that was from Marathon, getting me that extra move after my turn. All right, other side of the table now. Pretty much just using the shades to tie up the monstrosity. I fought against monstrosities enough now to know that unless I'm going to put a beast into it, I'm not doing anything to him. So the goal here was basically just to tie up the Mechanothor unit, the monstrosity, and some of the other thralls standing in that crater.
What's wrong? You didn't want to be netted and pulled in?
I did not. I really just did not want the monstrosity moving any further than he already had. He was already going to be a problem. Don't do a whole lot to anything there. I think the net damage there was less than 5 across all 3 models.
It had me locked in pretty good to where when you did eventually miss, I couldn't move my monstrosities. That was smart.
Yeah, at least base locked you in.
Even being placed, I couldn't find a good spot to put it. So.
Did manage to kill one of the thralls, so measuring the blow up range here. And thankfully, it didn't do a ton. You got a couple damage on me, but I was worried that you'd just blow up and kill everything.
That would have been amazing.
And then reposition.
Because you hate me.
Yeah, and this was like inadvertently probably the best reposition I've ever done, and just completely trying to lock up as much as I can.
Moving other man's tokens.
Yeah, thought I would get lucky there. Second Hydrix, 2 more armor piercing heads. Go in. What's the first thing I do? Miss. No armor pin for me. I thankfully did have the 2 Cephalyx standing right behind me to actually get to do some attacks. Only the most annoying models. I did manage to kill them this game, but I think they have slowly became the bane of my existence, as I would do like 4 damage to them and you would just heal 3 immediately.
It's an amazing unit.
Shooting the main head, the shots took off one of the necrosurgeons there in the back, and then blast damage did absolutely nothing.
Usually it just kills the whole thing.
I think it's the first game I've played with that head, and I think it pairs well with the armor pin. I mean, at least it gives you something to shoot, especially when you do have units like necrosurgeons or some other kind of easy to kill support unit, other than on feet turn, where I wasn't going to hit you at all. I'm just hoping the blast damage killed the one guy.
Kill another thrall. I was hoping that it would do a lot more damage than it did, because if I could wipe those guys off, I was in a spot to take that objective. But it only did like 1 or 2. I think I roaded more of my stuff. Wiped out that last throw. And remember, if you don't want to catch corrosion, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and ring that bell for notifications to gain resistance. Alright, the second to last throw. You really wanted those guys dead.
Oh yeah, I really did. You did allow me to go back there and change something because I kept forgetting that Marathon was active, so I got a little bit extra movement on the character beast there. Flew the Atlas over in front of my Warlock, basically just to block the lane. With the monstrosity still standing there, I'm pretty terrified that you would just find a way to charge through the gap and kill me. So
only I just had racked Ghostly.
Yeah. Just trying to put some bodies in the way, taking out the last thrall. So managed to gain the 50 mil cohort up there at the top. Again, using Marathon to get the extra movement, blocking holes. There's some line of sight gaps there in between the Hydrix and Atlas, but again, you didn't have Ghostly, so I wasn't worried about you having line of sight. I just needed to make sure your base couldn't fit anywhere. Shadowmancer's just a little bit for positioning, holding that back 40. Regulus charges in. He swings his 1 attack and swing and a miss. Roll those dice. Yeah. And guess what? The thrall's going to move.
I have to say, this is the most... I've played this list a lot by now that we're doing this voiceover. This is the most I've actually got to move, was during this game.
And then I do a little reposition back to block you.
Stop chasing me!
Alright, last unit here. Let's get those lashers into combat. Best case scenario here, I kill 3 Cephalyx. Worst case scenario here, I don't kill 3 Cephalyx, but at least tie up the objective.
There's a big hit.
Yeah, that's a nice roll on charge attack. And then you heal too.
And you kill him with the second attack. Well, at the end of turn 2, Seth scores 1 and I score 0. Because he has managed to block all of my stuff and I can't score my own flag. Which is a house.
For you.
Even though I had my feet up and I was able to move a lot, he did still manage to kill a bunch of things, which worries me. But I have to have a big turn 3 to be able to keep up. So I need to try to kill all of his war beasts in this next turn.
That is exactly what I didn't want you to do. was kill all my war beasts or find a way to get to Valix and kill him too. But yeah, I killed a lot. But it's just funny when you look at the table and then you look afterwards to see what's left and how many objectives I was able to take from you. It was one, nothing else. So I might have killed a lot, but then I think I've sacrificed a lot of models just to prevent you from scoring too. So hopefully it worked.
I'm really, really, really missing Ghostly at this point. Because if I had Ghostly, I could just charge right up there and do some good damage. But unfortunately, I don't. Alright, Cryx turn 3. I got a lot of work to do and a short time to do it. Let's do this thing. I power up my jacks. I activate my caster first. Cast Carnage because I need the extra hit. I've got to get rid of this Shade because he scares me. He's right up on me and he's blocking my monstrosity. So I'm nervously rolling here. I'm just bouncing my dice for some reason. And I finally decide I should roll. And I managed to hit. I boost because I want him dead, and I kill him. And then because I'm out of combat, I see that lone lasher over there who's also out of combat. Nice, juicy target. Bro, hit, boost him, and murder him. Feel real good about that.
Mike contemplates his life. This battle report brought to you by Dice.
I activate my Necrosurgeons, come up, power up my jack, and then walk him around. I have to remove his arm because it's really tight there. Trying to make sure that I can actually get in to contest that. Come in, I kill that last lasher with my big jack.
Yeah, and then you go to town on the character beast.
Yeah. Had a bunch of extra attacks, why not? Unfortunately, didn't kill it though. Then I activate my chicken and do non-chicken things. I walk him up, I boost a hit, and I kill you because you already had damage on you from the thralls exploding. Then activate the monstrosity that's now free, charge him in. Again, try to get into that 3. And I... We're trying to see if I can actually get up in there a little bit now. Determined to kill this jack, or this war beast.
Yeah, I think you're putting everything into the Ackless, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I remember us discussing this because on my turn, if the Ackless didn't die, he has an ability called Entropic Presence, and he could just fly over there and make everything within 10 inches -2 armor. Sorry, not 10 inches, 5 inches.
I just killed a big guy, and now I'm trying to kill him. Hopefully this is going to work. Pretty sure after all said and done, I'll leave him on like 1 box.
Yeah, massive damage there. He just did 10 to me. Pretty sure you were rolling dice. What's that guy's power?
Yeah, he's PAL 17.
Yeah, you were rolling dice there. You had a couple really strong damage rolls on me.
Unfortunately, I left him on 1, so now I'm trying to figure out what I got to do to maybe kill him. Move up the other unit of Necrosurgeons, get him within range of my jack to boost him up, and then at the same time stay contesting that my cash because I don't want you to take it instantly. I walk the jack up, get within range of all of those lashers.
Yeah, if you didn't know any better here, you'd have thought the Malefactor had Thresher.
Yeah.
He just freaking swings that axe around and nukes all three of them.
I feel like I didn't even need all the focus I had on him. I was just, oh no, I did roll double ones there. That's right.
I'm pretty sure that was your head attack though, so it didn't matter because you ended up buying attacks with the axe to kill the other two.
Yeah. And then we move up the thralls to try to kill these last two shades, because if I can kill these shades, I might be able to take this cash. What I'm hoping for, because right now I have the cohort objective on my side. I just need to take that cash and hopefully catch up in points here. If I can roll it out. End up rolling really hot. So much more than usual with them.
Yeah, they did really well. I mean, not that the shades are, extremely impressively tough unit, but between your shooting attacks and your melee, able to take both those two remaining shades out.
It was really nice because I still hadn't shot yet, so I was able to hit you with at least one spray and maybe do some chip damage on you. Just to, put salt on that wound. Now we measure this out. Move the Centurion, place him, sacrifice his action, pick up that cash. Helps me catch up.
What's it sound like when you pick a cash up?
Cha-ching.
Nice. That's pretty close. I was envisioning like a slot machine going off.
I've got this lone Scarlock Thrall over here. I'm like, why not? I've got one box in the sky. Let's see what I can do. Charge in, because I have Pathfinder. Doing math. Managed to hit you. Dice -4. And I kill him. I feel really good about that. Good job, Daddy Scarlock. Move up the Spell Slave, cast Revive to bring back one of my Necrosurgeons that you killed because you're rude. I move up the other solo, the Cephalyx. I'm trying to decide if I want to try to befuddle you, to try to move you away, or I want to try to blast you a little bit. But I'm pretty sure I couldn't ended up not seeing you, so we just ended up calling the end of the turn.
All right, let's go Shard Nocturne's turn 3. All right, we got to pull something out here. Little board state evaluation here. Shard Nocturnes currently has less than a handful of models left on the table after Mike's turn 3. So, what are our options here? Not a ton, and Mike's also up on points, and I don't have enough models to come back on points, so we're going for a Hail Mary here. We're going full fury up the board with my Warlock. We're going to try and get cute. We're going to roll another nice box cards there. That makes up for the trip 1s earlier. Killing the Scarlock. Now we're going to go to town. Throwing those ranged weapons. Looking for a drag.
You having that sapper was key here. It was
get rid of that wall. Yeah, that was awesome.
Oh, I forgot how much damage you did. I was like, oh, the pain. And now we're trying to see if I can actually be pulled through, and yep, I could.
Yep. But clutch roll when a clutch roll was needed. Do not finish you off. I spend every last fury I have buying attacks. Had a hard time hitting you. And you also had a ton of focus. But managed to do quite a bit, but now I've got 2 heavy beasts sitting right there, and just going to go down the line, start attacking, boosting everything, just looking for one good hit in order to finish you off. That was the hit, boosting damage. That was the end.
That hurt.
Very, very, very narrow Khymera victory.
That was a fun game, though. We were both playing some things we'd had never played before, so it was really nice to get them on the table and actually use them. Even though I lost horribly, I enjoyed the game.
Yeah, good game, Mike.
I should have maybe used my unstoppable card, backed away some with my caster, and then killed your guy that I was locked in combat with on my turn, and then I would have been farther away, which may have helped me stay alive. But I got overconfident with that wall being there. I completely forgot that you actually had the Sapper card in your list, which turned out to be very, very useful.
One of the few times I actually prepared cards, and everybody has been bringing walls, it feels like. So why not? I mean, I'm never using all of my cards to begin with, so might as well use one to take cover away from somebody. Because at the end of the day, I still struggle to hit things, so I can't afford for people to be getting cover.
Well, that's it for this episode of Collateral Damage. If you like this episode, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe.
And we'll see you guys next time.